So I figured first, before we sort of start playing some more, maybe we could talk a little bit about each of these instruments. We got a fiddle behind us, which we can talk about. You guys know enough about the fiddle. But these are sort of the 5 primary instruments of bluegrass, plus fiddle makes 6. And yeah, there's a little bit of history behind the genre, which maybe we could talk a little bit about when we sort of do some Bill Monroe music. But first, Frank, do you want to talk a little bit about the mandolin?
Sure. So the mandolin is a lute. I guess it sprung out of the lute family, and the mandolin has just like the violin family has a mandola and a mandocello, which is really large. But it's a instrument of Italian origin, and it's tuned just like the fiddle. The only difference is it has 2 strings, courses, instead of single strings, and it's plucked. So the first mandolins were made with a big bowl around the back, but they weren't very loud. So when the immigrants came over to the States from Italy, there was a guy named Orville Gibson, and he decided that he wanted to make it louder. And so he made it more like a violin with a carved back and a carved top and F-holes. And it is much louder now.
Yeah, they used to sort of look like this. It'd have like a circular hole in the middle like a guitar.
Yeah.
And then when he added in those F-holes became a lot louder. Yeah. Yeah, and the instrument that still does have a circular hole in it is the guitar. The guitar is sort of the second to the lowest in terms of register of the instruments. It's 1 octave above the lowest note on the bass. And it sort of serves as like the harmonic center of the songs. You're playing chords where, if something's in G, you can get a G and a D and a B, all, the 3 notes in the triad in that chord. And yeah, a lot of bluegrass players, the guitar is sort of the only thing that really has to be in a bluegrass band. You can take out a banjo, take out a dobro, take out a mandolin, and take out a fiddle. But it sort of has to have a guitar. It's sort of the center of it. And yeah, well, I guess the only essential instrument really is the bass there.
Yeah, you really have to have the bass to
Yeah.
have. It's just a big fiddle, right? Bass, as you see, has 4 strings. It's interesting. It's the opposite of the violin, where you got the G, the D, the A, and the E, which is the opposite of the violin. Is that right? Okay. And it's really a plywood type of instrument. It's supposed to be made out of plywood, right? And I don't have a bow in this, but some people do play, as you might have seen orchestras with a bow, but that's beyond my ability.
And here we have the 5-string banjo. This is actually descended, well, there's also a 4-string. If you've seen Irish music, a lot of times it's a bit shorter. It's missing this. This is a drone string. I'm tuned actually to an open G chord, so I have G, D, G, B, and D. So this is an octave above, and they call it a drone string. Originally, for years, I was under the misconception that they added the 5th string once we got it over here, but there's I'll be darned if I can remember the name of it. It's an African instrument, a gourd-based, made out of a gourd with a skin head. They no longer have skin heads anymore, which is good because the weather affects it a lot. So it descended from Africa, and that actually had a drone string, so that came over with it. Yes?
Do you know how to play dueling banjos with him?
We have not done that.
Very possible.
You like that song, huh? Is that a good one?
I've never done that with him. It is a good song.
But we can work that out.
Maybe, what, now?
No.
I'm sorry, the short answer would be not at the moment, but regardless, this came from Africa up through the Caribbean, made its way to Appalachia, and made its way into bluegrass. Bluegrass kind of took it to a whole nother level, so there you have it, 5-string banjo. And
This was probably the most unusual of the instruments, and maybe the one that people in this room are the least familiar with. It's generally known as a dobro, although that's a brand name, and this is not a dobro brand guitar. But you can see it's basically a guitar. It's a guitar-shaped instrument, but it's got some differences. I don't know if you can see all this, but for one thing, the strings are very, very high up off the neck. They're not meant to be fretted like a standard guitar. They're meant to be played with a slide. So this fairly substantial piece of stainless steel slides along the strings. And you get a sort of a nice sliding sound that is designed to emulate the human voice in a way that's somewhat similar to the violin. But I think the slides are a lot more pronounced on this thing. It's bigger for one thing. And the center of it is this is a cover plate. Underneath the cover plate is basically a speaker cone. It's like you might see in a speaker, in a stereo speaker, or any kind of speaker that you have to amplify sound. It's made out of aluminum, and it takes the vibration of the strings, which are transmitted to it by this other piece of metal which is in here, which contacts the edges of the speaker cone, and gives it a little bit of mechanical amplification. These were invented in the 1920s, this style of guitar, by people who wanted to make guitars louder because they were being played in big orchestras, and it was hard to hear them because they weren't as loud as banjos or fiddles or just about any other instrument, horns. The style of playing guitar like this, flat, with a slide, comes from Hawaii. It originated in Hawaii in the second half of the 19th century and came to the United States in the late 19th, early 20th century, when Hawaiian music was extremely popular in the U.S. There were a lot of Hawaiian bands, and they had something different, the Hawaiian guitar, which was very novel and a nice way of changing up the guitar sound a little bit. It came into bluegrass after the other 5 instruments, the guitar, the banjo, the fiddle, the mandolin, and the bass fiddle. And not every bluegrass band has one, but in the 1950s, when bluegrass was still pretty new, Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, who were one of the preeminent bluegrass band leaders of the day, added dobro to their sound, and it's become very popular in bluegrass music since.
Yeah. Oh, this is a fiddle. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these before, but yeah, the fiddle is sort of the last part of the bluegrass equation, and yeah, you know, you guys have sort of learned some, I think, some fiddle tunes that are, you know, bluegrass, or at least bluegrass adjacent, and you know, a big part of bluegrass fiddle is improvisation. You know, a big part of it is sort of, you know, figuring out how to supplement voices. You know, when a song is being sung, you know, the fiddle is you know, very legato compared to the plucked nature of all the other instruments. So figuring out how to supplement the, you know, legato nature of the human voice when folks are singing songs. Oh yeah.
Can you
Okay,
show
this
us
is Lord.
what the mandolin sounds like with just the whole?
So one more time.
What does that mandolin sound like?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So this mandolin is from 1919, and it sort of has a little bit more of a tubby sound. And it's not as loud, not as direct, but it's sort of nice and warm. And then you compare that to a modern mandolin with F-rolls. Sort of got a lot brighter, more direct punch. You know, mandolin players are always thinking up weird words to describe how their mandolin sounds. They'd say, "Oh, this mandolin barks. It's got, you know, whatever." There's words that don't really mean much, but yeah. So as you can tell, you know, bluegrass is a very social genre. You know, it's tunes are getting passed around, and you know, there's this sort of common repertoire that most bluegrass players know. You know, maybe a core 20 or 30 songs that, you know, if you go to a bluegrass jam with a bunch of pickers, you know, you can show up and you can call True Life Blues, the first song we did, Foggy Mountain Breakdown, There's like a shared knowledge of songs that you go anywhere and people are going to know it if they sort of, have the basic bluegrass knowledge. And it's also a very social genre because we're sharing these solos around. In a song format, it's very common for, you'll sing a verse and a chorus, and then one of the instruments will improvise a solo over that verse form, or the chorus form, depending on the song, and then keep going around like that. So improvisation is a big part of bluegrass and, taking these solos, which is really fun. And then, I tried to demonstrate as best I could the fiddle's role often in those songs, when Andy and Frank were saying, I hate to see the sunset low, you have 3 or 4 beats in the rest of that measure where there's a little bit of dead space and, the fiddle can fill in there, do a little lick or a little, melody line or something in there to fill in that gap. What's next on our little list here?
So just an aside, also, we play some fiddle tunes, and you probably know some fiddle tunes that are in the bluegrass repertoire, like Devil String, Old Joe Clark, Liberty. Yep.
All right. Oh, nice.
Excellent. So those are.
Yeah.
I actually know the A part of Devil String too.
Yeah.
Nice. We didn't want to. We were trying to be careful about not doing songs about drinking. There are a lot of bluegrass songs that are a little bit unsavory. When Chelsea and I were trying to decide what song to play, it took me a good 15-20 minutes. Okay, no murder, no drinking. That's what a lot of bluegrass is about.
PG rated, keep it PG.
Yeah, we got to keep it G. Viola player and then pick up fiddle. I hope that rule wasn't for the viola. I haven't picked mine up in 2 years. Then as Frank mentioned, it's fairly easy to switch over to the mandolin. All you got to do is learn how to use a flat pick like this. And once I learned how to play the mandolin, it was like I know how to use this. I just got to learn the neck of the guitar. So it's pretty easy to sort of leapfrog from instrument to instrument. And
It's easy for him.
yeah, and for you
Just
guys.
want to clarify.
You guys could all play mandolin, guitar pretty easily. Ask your parents for one. They'll be very happy that they have to get you another instrument.
Tell Collins is
Not a banjo.
This is a song from a movie. Bluegrass was never all that popular. It was sort of a very uniquely American music. It had its fans throughout the 80s, the 90s, through the second half of the 20th century. But there were some things that happened at the turn of this century, the 21st century, that sort of brought bluegrass back into the limelight. And one of them was this movie called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Starring George Clooney, where he sang this really fun song. Right? In constant sorrow. Rain. a traditional 5-piece bluegrass band would play that too. Alright. Singers are starting on that C sharp note. We'll maybe sing that first line at about this speed, like 1, 2, 3. Here we go. That on top. So you guys are starting on the E. 1, 2, 3.